Today on Pro Church Daily, we're talking about how to reverse an unhealthy culture at your church.
Well, hey there, and welcome to Pro Church Daily, the show where in 10 minutes or less you're going to get a daily dose of tips and tactics to help your church share the message of Jesus while we navigate the biggest communication shift that we've ever seen in the last 500 years. I'm your host, Alex Mills, joined as always by the boss man, it's Brady Shearer, and today we're going to talk about how to reverse an unhealthy culture at your church.
I received a direct message this week, Alex, from a member of Pro Church Nation, and the basis of the message was simple. It said, I listen to your content, and I watch your content, and I agree with everything that you have to say.
All right.
I'm stuck. How do I actually begin implementing this in a church culture and a church tradition that is the exact opposite of what you talk about? I have people that are just not in that place, and maybe I have some people that also agree, but we just don't know how to change and reverse everything that we've done for so long.
Yep.
And really, this is at the crux of everything that we're trying to accomplish as churches. Because at our core, humans are very resistant to change. We like things one way, and if that thing is working, even if it's not working, it's familiar, and I want to stay as is. Another core characteristic of humans is that we crave routine, and we thrive within routine and familiarity. When things are the way that we expect them to be, that makes it more comfortable and easier, and we are happier and more content with that. Understanding those two core traits of humans, you got to understand that you are coming to the table with a very difficult task. And we're going to talk about how we suggest that you go about tackling that, but just recognize that this is not easy. There's a reason that Toys R Us went out of business. They could not do this. There's a reason that Kodak went out of business. They could not do this. There's a reason that taxi drivers rioted in the town hall saying, don't allow Uber here because it will ruin our livelihood. They could not do this. This is hard. You can do this, but it is very difficult.
Not only is it hard, but it's a process that takes a tremendous amount of time. And I'm speaking to this from personal experience. We think of the allegory of a ship a lot when it comes to changing direction. We know it. James has to say about steering a ship and talking about the rudder and all that stuff. But if you think about a ship like the size of a cruise ship, if you want to change direction for any reason, maybe you're going the wrong direction or there's an iceberg ahead of you, you could probably try and make a maneuver very quickly to accomplish that. But what's going to happen is all the people who are on the deck are going to slide off the deck and die. And maybe the ship falls over and everybody dies. And so you could do it quickly. You could try and do it quickly if you wanted to, but it's not going to end well. And so moving a gigantic ship and changing directions, especially a 180-degree turn, takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, and a lot of care. And that's often what this process feels like in church because people get so comfortable. People... Probably on your screen or on your wall somewhere at church, it says, welcome home. People actually consider your church to be a home, And so when they walk into church and you've changed everything, you've changed all the furniture and changed all the art on the walls to this proverbial home, that's going to be uncomfortable for people. And so this kind of reversal of an unhealthy culture towards health does take a lot of patience.
Well, let's start here. There are, in my mind, 3 things that you need. Alex just mentioned one of them. 3 things that you need to successfully change a culture. The first is clout. Another word would be relational equity. A simple word for it would be trust. If you are going to be the catalyst that triggers this change, you need to have buy-in to you as an individual and you as a leader in this church first. Number 2, you need the time that Alex said. This is a 3 to 5 year process, not a 3 to 5 month process. No. It's going to take a really long time. So you need to know that you are in it for that long haul and that you have that time to do it. And then 3, you need the patience. Are you able to withstand the setbacks that are going to come?
And on year 4, are you still going to be in it?
Are you still going to be in it? It's going to have to require a ton of patience because there are going to be setbacks. You're going to think that you've got it, and then it's going to be all undone, and you're going to have to start again. And that's going to be in this process that we're going to walk through. So clout, time, and patience. 4 steps to making this happen, Alex. Let's dive into step number 1. This is the most important step.
Yes.
If you cannot get to step 1, there is no step 2. You need step 1 first, and that is ensure everyone agrees on the destination. You can completely change the culture of your church, but the destination, the mission that you're trying to accomplish, that needs to be agreed upon ahead of time. So if I want to go from Brady's house to Alex's house, and I'm taking the entire Pro Church Tools team, we need to all agree ahead of time when we're getting into the car.
Right.
Okay, we're all going to Alex's house.
Right.
Otherwise, when I make a wrong turn, everyone's going to be like, well, I thought we were going to the restaurant that I
Right.
wanted to go to,
Right.
not Alex's house.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to agree on that destination beforehand. You can't make any meaningful change if you can't all agree on where you're trying to go to.
Right. And this is where like your vision statement or your mission statement is really going to be so vital to this process. It's not just, something that we paint on the wall because that's what you do at church, and maybe your mission and your vision statement needs some reworking, needs some revisiting to add a little more intention to it. Like, where are we going? Like, what are we trying to do here? And maybe that's part of the process of, moving towards a healthy culture is revisiting that destination. Where are we going?
I know some churches that don't have one at all.
Right.
They feel like we don't need one. And you really can't undo culture or change culture if you don't all have the same due north on your compass.
Right.
Step number 2, let's say you all agree we're trying to get here. And you may say it differently, but it's, love God, love people, make disciples. That's what we want to help every single person in our church do. Here's the exact way we want to accomplish that. It's our destination. Okay, now, step 2, here's the fun one. Yeah. Wait and prove that you're part of the team.
Yeah.
I find that a lot of people that want to undo culture change are usually newer to the church.
Oh, yeah.
They walk into a situation and they're like, yo, this is some messed up stuff.
Yeah.
They might be right. You might be right. But it's going to take a year, probably 2 years, for you to be serving on that team. And this is where the clout comes in, that relational equity, where you need to prove that I'm not just a backseat driver who just got in this car and I'm like yelling and shouting directions from the back and I don't have any skin in the game. No. I'm a part of the team.
Yeah.
I'm here for the long haul. That's step 2. Step 3, here's where we get to the actual changes. What you want to do is you want to start with a small change on the basis that this change will allow you to arrive at your destination faster or easier.
Okay.
So if you're going to suggest Facebook advertising, and that is going to replace, as a simple example, the mail-outs that you do each Easter, you need to suggest and be like, okay, if we do this, it's going to save us this much money, and it will allow us to reach this many more people, which will lead to this much more attendance at that big event, which will lead to this many more baptisms, disciples of Jesus, giving, and us reaching our destination faster and easier. And in this case, more affordably.
Right.
Great. That's a suggestion you want to make. And you want to make it a small change, right? Like, you got to start small. If you want to undo a culture and do that 180 turn, you got to do it small changes at a time. Start with a small one.
So to that example, if you're walking into a church culture and you want to change a bit of it, and so speaking specifically about advertising, let's say your church not only is doing, mailers, but they've got ads in the newspaper and they're paying for a billboard and they're doing a bunch of print material. Instead of walking in and say, okay, let's undo everything and put all our money into Facebook ads, why don't you say, something like, okay, let's either take a little bit of money from somewhere else and try a Facebook ad in addition to what we're doing, or skip a mailer this quarter and let's try Facebook ads instead and see how that works. So that's an example of how to do a small step instead of walking in and say, okay, let's blow this all up, because that'll be often met with resistance.
And doing a small change doesn't even need to talk about the gravity of the change. It can also just refer to the risk involved.
Right.
And Alex just alluded to that. If you can, introduce a small change at zero risk to everyone else, that's going to make it even easier, and that's another way of making it small. Now, if that succeeds, and again, the success is measured by the destination you're all trying to get to, move on to step 4. If it doesn't succeed, go back to step 2, wait another 3 months before trying another change. And this is why you need to introduce changes that you are certain will work. We talk about a ton of stuff on Pro Church Daily that you can prove empirically worked. Start with that stuff, and then you get to step 4. Step 4, and this is the step that you just keep repeating forever and ever and ever, is suggest progressively larger changes one after the other. And again, if any of these changes fails, you want to go back a step, wait a little longer, and then suggest another one. But as long as you keep succeeding, you just keep making better changes, until eventually that 180-degree turn has taken place. And this is all human behavior is. If you are becoming a more healthy person, the first step is going to the gym for the first time.
Right.
And it's really hard, but it feels good afterwards. There's a sense of accomplishment, and you're more motivated to go the second time. And then you see a little bit of change on the scale. And then you think, maybe I could eat a little bit healthier. And then you start eating more vegetables and less McDonald's. And eventually, you're Alex Mills, who only eats grass-fed beef and makes kombucha at home because he's so healthy, because he's been doing the same thing over and over again. Dude hasn't eaten at McDonald's in 16 years. And so the behavior is so cemented, but that didn't happen overnight. It took years and years and years. It's the same thing, except colossally more difficult and more time required. When you're doing that not just with a single person where you have 100% autonomy, you're doing it with maybe 100 people.
Yeah.
It just requires more time, more effort, more patience.
Yeah, and although the step one is the most important, having that destination, step two, earning that clout, it's imperative, and that's in step number 3, those small changes that you propose. When you have a success there, when you have a win there, that's how you earn more clout.
Yes.
And when you have a failure there, that's how you determine that you don't quite have enough clout and you lose a bit. And so you go back, like you said, go back to step 2 and you just keep doing the work. And I had to go through this myself. I've mentioned on the show before, I'm a local pastor, but the church that I pastor in, I grew up in. And so for me to get from Alexander, pastor's son, to associate pastor, I had to spend a lot of time proving who I was and what I was and why I was doing what I was doing and where I wanted to go and earning that clout. And so before I even started leading worship, which was a stepping stone to pastoral ministry, I had to start cleaning toilets. And now I'm associate pastor. I still clean toilets.
Nice.
And I do that because this is the work I believe in, and that's the basis on which people who taught me Sunday school can hear me preach on a Sunday morning and receive what I have to say as like a voice of leadership, because I've earned that clout by cleaning toilets. And so although like I said, step number 1, that destination is vital. You can't move on without it. Earning that clout on step number 2 and doing the work and proving that why you're doing what you're doing is imperative as well.
The 4-step process to reversing an unhealthy church culture. Step number 1, ensure everyone agrees on the destination. Step 2, wait and prove you're part of the team. Have you made enough deposits to make a withdrawal? Wow. Another relational analogy that gets used a lot. Step number 3, suggest a small change on the basis of arriving to your destination faster and or easier. Success? Move on to step 4. Yep. Failure, move back to step 2. And then that final step number 4, suggest progressively larger changes, one after the other. This is the process. It takes a lot of clout, a lot of time, and a lot of patience, but it will get you to your destination of reversing and undoing an unhealthy church culture. That'll do it for today's episode of Pro Church Daily. We'll see you next time.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Pro Church Daily. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you never miss another video.
And if you like this video, go ahead, hit the like button.
Thanks.